Good day, traders. Edge with high-tech trading analysis. I just had a customer ask me, using my volume profile sessions, how he could display 3 different trading hour POCs. And I thought I would take this opportunity to demonstrate this. Now, I am asked a lot, how can I display both the extended trading hours and the regular trading hours on the same chart? Well, in the last update of the VP Sessions, we added a Sessions trading hours template, user configurable in the properties of the indicator. If we look at the VP Sessions, I'm looking at a daily sessions, and I'm using the default instrument. That means the instrument that is configured in our data series. Right now, this says use default instrument 2, and the default instrument for any futures contract is the extended trading hours. So the first thing I would do, we're talking about adding RTH and ETH on the same chart. The first thing you really want to do is make sure that you have your ETH set up the way that you want. Colors the way that you want, the line colors. Get everything the way you want, because it will be different for a black chart versus a white chart versus different colored charts. You might want to use different colored backgrounds. Now, by default, this is set up very nicely for the light themes. If you're using a dark theme, please reach out. I can get you some templates that'll look like this on a black chart that's simple enough to use. Now, once we have the basic configuration of everything the way we want, I would suggest we go into indicators. We come to our indicator sessions. We've got all of this configured the way that we want it. We come down to templates, save, and I'm going to save this as default ETH. You can name it whatever you want. I just need to name it something so that I know when I call it back another time, I know what it is that I'm calling. But I'll set up all kinds of templates here. I never set this as the default template. I never do that. The reason why I say that is if an update comes out and the properties have changed, whatever you saved in this default it might not have all of the properties, or might have more properties than the next version you receive. Always just save a template and reuse that template. It's super simple to do, right? So we're just going to do this, and we're going to say save. I'm going to say yes because I'm overriding it. It was already there. I just saved it over itself is all I ended up doing. So we have our ETH template on our chart. Now we need an RTH template on our chart. To do this, we're going to have to add another instance of the volume profile sessions. So we're going to do that. Down here, I'm just going to say template, load, ETH. So that just loaded the same templates there. If I click apply, I'm just going to see one right over the other. What I want to do here is come up to the top, trading hours template. I'm going to click the drop down and use any trading hours template you have configured in NinjaTrader. By default, if I want to just use the RTH, this is going, we would have to look this up, but I believe this goes from 8:30 to 4. If you wanted different hours you would have to create your own session template, and then it would create around whatever hours it is that you decided to design. Simple enough. For this case, we're just going to use RTH, and we're going to say OK. Now, all I did was take this template, all the colors, all the things, and duplicate it into another histogram. Only this one is a representation of RTH, and this one is the representation of ETH. Now, if I wanted to add another one on there, I could. But what you probably want to do is once you have your ETH template set up, and then you configure it on your chart like this, you'll probably want to go back into the indicator properties of what you just added and change these to different colors, save that template as RTH instead of ETH. This gets a little confusing if you're using the same histogram colors and the same plot colors or line colors for each of your values. It's not real easy to tell which value is which value, especially when you come in and you start extending some of those labels or lines or levels or whatever, however you want to call that. So rather than mess with all of this, this is how I would add an ETH and an RTH. Simple enough. The original question was, how do I add 3 POCs? Oh, he only wants to see the POC of 3 different trading templates. Now, this gets a little more complicated in that the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to go get rid of this session template. I don't really know how I'm going to do this yet. We're going to find out. We're going to get rid of that indicator and we're going to start with this indicator. So now I need to go looking at all of this other stuff. We need to turn off the histogram. We need to turn off all of the values other than the POC. Okay, and we'll go ahead and extend that for now. It doesn't matter if these other, if they're turned off here, it doesn't matter whether you're extending them or not here. But since we have the POC shown, and the same thing here, this always show and low volume, if the histogram isn't shown, that those aren't going to matter. Previous. Okay, so now previous, we have to do the same thing. We want to turn everything off except for the previous. Let's make the previous full session. So this is our current session. This is our previous. This is the previous to that. This is the previous to that. And I could go one step further. We could go one step further and extend the previous sessions, just the previous sessions POC. The color of the POC is the color of the POC, regardless if it's current or previous. What I need to do is I need to make those colors unique, but I don't see myself doing that anytime soon. Just way too many things on the project. So let's just keep going on. Rambling here. If we don't extend that, now we're looking at the POC, just the POC of the ETH. Now, if I come back into the indicators property and we come down to templates and we save that, and I'm going to say that this is default POC. Okay, now that I've got that and I know what I'm looking for, I can go back into the indicators. We can add another instance of this, come down and apply that template that we just made for the POC. Load, come down here and I will make a change. It's going to load everything, but I want to change that magenta to that lime green. And then we'll just say okay. Okay, now the green is overriding the pink or red or whatever the hell that was, because we didn't choose a session template. So now we'll come up and we'll make this a CME index. Where are you at? RTH. Okay. Okay. Now I've got, well, those are pretty close. Now I've got the POC values of both. Now, you can see in the current day in the POC, there is a text label here, but right now, the bars are probably always going to be right over that. But by changing the colors, I can easily see the two. So now I have two on the chart. I could add another. I could add whatever trading hours template I have defined. And you're more than welcome to make up whatever customized template you want. And then just select it from the list.